So you want my speakers on and my mic on. All right.
Can everybody, oh no, let me turn the lights down so we can see this. So I'll sit back here, so if I have anything to say, you can capture the audio.
It's kind of weird looking. Is there any way to blow that up on the screen? I'll try and zoom in as much as I can. Can everybody read that? Okay. So I am now in Adobe InDesign finally. I took a lot of lynda.com classes to get here and somewhat understand it. Very happy to be out of Word, by the way.
Yeah, you have so much more.
Very much. So to remind everyone, I'm working for a friend who is trying to make a company called Hummingbird Home Company. And right now it is a cleaning service, but wants to expand to home organization, interior design, maybe blogging, anything that she sees fit that she can do. She's very creative, a creative brained person who actually graduated from the Webster University. So when it comes to the objective, it's still very simple. It's defining her brand and letting her clients know who she is and what I say they are about. It's just her right now. She is looking to expand. A friend might join her very soon. And then move into the digital realm to communicate this information. The target audience, as discussed before, is still West County. And again, this is a very high income. I actually put low area when I put family income of plus 70K. I'm really at the bottom of the spectrum here. And what I added there was they want to come home to clean and organized home without having to worry about it. And I'll elaborate more on that down here on expected outcomes. Hummingbird Co. is currently concentrating on clean homes, but it's not just that. This is where I kind of elaborated last time we spoke that Magnolia Homes and other companies that are similar are very popular right now, especially on TV channels like HGTV, Property Brothers, Fixer Upper, all these shows. People just absolutely eat it up. And then it expands into the digital realm with blogs and then even selling merchandise and things like that, especially with Magnolia Market. And that's kind of what my client wants to emulate in her own business. So as she starts, the thought behind it, as the world gets busier and busier, this is a peace of mind for clients and families when they arrive home to a sparkling clean house at the end of a busy day. And what she provides that's different than these other cleaning companies is a relationship with the person on a regular basis. And it's not just a company sending whoever they have available. And here I kind of elaborate on just how it's popular and back to Magnolia Market. I know I use Magnolia Market as kind of the biggest example, but it really is one of the best examples. And when it comes to her brand voice, she wants it simple, fresh, clean services that are authentic and creative. And when it comes to the simple part, it's kind of seen in her logo, which is right here below. We'll get down to that in a moment. And the fresh portion is just a great adjective for a cleaning service, and then of course clean. And then authentic is she's trying to imply to the client that this is the relationship she wants to have with them, is that it's authentic. It's not just somebody showing up that you don't know. And then when it comes to the description of the project, this just kind of lays it out. We've pretty much solidified a logo and the name. She's purchasing the domain hummingbirdco.com, which is still available, which I keep getting on her every day to buy. And then the logo is kind of capturing this. We'll take a look at it. She still wants a very small color palette, and it's kind of interesting for this what we're looking for this week. We're looking for a color palette of just a simple black and white with just one color. That's exactly what she wants. So most likely it'll be a black and white color palette with maybe some gray shades, but I haven't talked to her yet on what her main color will be, and I want to use it on the navigation parts. So it might be a blue. It'll most likely be that blue that's in my font there. something like that to remind the customer that's kind of a cleaning company. But this is her logo. She's in between this and one other, but everyone in her sphere of influence are telling her that this is the best one. So I assume she's going to come to it. When you zoom in, you can't really see it on the board, but when you zoom in quite a bit, it's a little aged, a little vintage looking there. I like it. It's sharp. It's a lot more sharp on my screen. And then the last time we met and I discussed, my flow chart was a little too colorful. So I moved back and made different shapes. I made it as simple as I could. I still haven't taken information architecture, so I still need help with this, I believe. So I'll come back to that to discuss.
Differentiate from the rectangles?
That's the end. That means it's the end. You are not going anywhere else after that.
Okay. And then what about, why is your homepage a circle?
I have no idea. I just want to differentiate. Should I leave it a rectangle? I don't know.
Well, it is a page. You know what I mean? To me, I would interpret the triangles as like sections of that particular page.
Okay.
So it's a little bit odd at this point. I see services cleaning. There probably going to be other services down the road, which is like why I think you're separating that out.
Right. Which I can show how I'm going to separate that out for now in my wireframe.
You could even add, like if home organization was one of the services, you could have it there and kind of show in gray to kind of imply that this is where future content would go.
Absolutely. Okay.
I think that this is very legible. I think that it will be even better if you tone down your lines even more. Like make them, is that like a 1 pixel line?
It is.
Make it a half or a quarter.
Okay.
And know it sounds like a minor thing, but all of a sudden you'll notice that all this line work will be plenty visible, but the text will pop. Okay. And that's what you want people to be able to see, you know?
Sure.
So just tone it down a little bit.
Great.
Keep going.
I will definitely, I love the idea. I will definitely branch off over into this area most likely. Does that sound about right with organization, interior design, things like that?
Yeah. And why do you have home landing and home toilet? Like,
well, to me, I understand. To me, as a designer, I just think that that's available, and no matter where you are, you can click on it.
Yeah, that's sort of implied. I would take that off. You're gonna, because it's confusing to have 2 home pages.
You got it. I just wanted to, from a web designer point. Okay.
Yeah, that's gonna be in your menu bar. You're thinking about it in your menu bar.
Got it. I'll get it out of there, and I'll probably expand over here and then make this area bigger so I can fit more.
I was working on a page lately. It's a web application that I work on all the time. And I have a home page, but in the home page, you can do a search for a particular person. And you do the search, it does a call, and then it reloads that page. So there's kind of 2 different views of the home page. So I was in a conundrum, like, do I show home page twice to represent what's going on here? So I kind of had it, I tried to visually communicate, this is still the home page, but it's going to be a little bit different if you've come to it for the first time versus if you've come to it after typing in the person you're searching for, because it reloads the page. So in my diagram, I don't want to imply that there are 2 of them. Mm-hmm. There's just 1 page. It just does different things if you're looking at it in different. So
got it.
That's probably the only case where I've actually have that page listed twice.
Okay.
So I think take it off, use the width to expand the services branch.
Got it. I can do that. And then back to the circle, just make it a rectangle then?
Yeah, because there's all pages. Sometimes on the home page, I might add notes off to the side and say the home page will feature a short snippet about the person, and then a Facebook feed will be showing on, I don't know. Sometimes I oftentimes add notes next to the home page, because the home page, just to communicate to the client what I'm planning on featuring on the home page. Okay. You know, maybe the client is, we have a really active Twitter feed, and we have a lot of Twitter follows, and we want to make sure that feed goes on our homepage. Okay. And so I will, and it helps you kind of get in your mind before you go into the design phase. Okay, I need to accommodate this, this, and this in my design. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Well, that brings me to more questions then on the wireframes too. Always questions, you said. Yeah. So I have 2 examples of a wireframe. Mm-hmm. This one is a template that I found. It's a PSD file. So it's a Photoshop file. It is a 1-page template, and it is literally probably, in real terms, probably like 4 or 5 feet long. And then you decide in the layers panel what you want to place in.
And so this isn't exactly what I would do on her website, but it's close and it's a good representation of what I would do. But what I was talking about earlier before we started class was that this is Scott's, their company's wireframes that you are given as a designer. And this is one layer. And I'll show you the different layers here. And why I asked this question is because I don't want to repeat I don't want to remake the wheel here. So I posted these in one of the discussions. So here, this XS is a phone. It's a smartphone. I'll go to the large real quick.
So they have them separated out as separate files.
They do. And when you come in here along I'll read these out, you're going to have browsers. So you can come along the browsers and you can actually fit it to which browser you have. Now, granted, the average user uses a browser that's 1366 by 768, and that's right there. So you can actually see it in the window. And then when you actually come down to the wireframe, you highlight it. So, but really, if you take that browser away, this never changes. It never changes because of the margins on the right, because these are definitely bootstrapped. So the margins never change. Now, what I do like about this too, so let's just say we leave it at 1366 and we come down here to the wireframe, I can pick a home, which is what I want for mine. I don't want the other selection. I don't want a sidebar. So here's one of the sidebar, and I don't want a 3-column, which is right here, not for my website. So when I made it, let me open up the other one. When I made mine for this, I made Hummingbird website wireframe, which is this. I chose this one, and then I adjusted home, about, brand. This is how I want it to look. So my question is, how in depth should we go with a wireframe? Because I can do that, as I said in my discussion here, or, I mean, do we go this far?
Well, first of all, you have to decide, is it going to be a one-page layout where all of the content is on one page?
Yes.
It is?
I have made that decision, yes.
Okay, so there are going to be areas. Then I think that, well, first of all, Scott's, those are good templates, except they're very ugly, like that.
Oh, absolutely. The color is horrible.
So we want to make the wireframe more diagrammatic, where it's just black and white, and images are usually represented with a big X across it, or this, this and that. I don't think, I think it's probably a good idea. You do know what your section names are going to be called, so putting them in the menu bar is a good idea. But everything else, you want to just have diagrams, content area, content area, content area. And then since it's going to be a really long page, you're not going to have, unless this is going to be scrollable, and the footer will remain there. Or is there no footer? Is it just going to be one all big old thing?
The footer will be at the very bottom.
At the very bottom. So probably you want to give us a shot of, hey, what's it going to look like? But also show us enough so that we understand if I click on services is right here on this page, you're not taking you to another page. And so, the rest can be implied. We don't need to see every single detail. So if you get so far, like, this is the home page content, or maybe show me another wireframe where we're lower on that page, and then just give me some notes about it. So then use your other wireframe. The nice thing about that other wireframe is it's black and white, shades of gray, right? So it's nice and clean and modern and everything, and it's showing how you're going to lay out. But we're not going to bother with what this content's going to be right here. And are you going to, okay, so is there going to be center alignment? You might have in yours like about hummingbird, blah, 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 or whatever the section is. And, you're going to show kind of maybe how many images. So I would show it, I think it should look more like that. And I think that, but I don't think you need to have a wireframe that shows the thing in the entirety. If you can kind of give us a sense for, the proportions of the areas, the content areas, show where your logo is going to be, show how your menu bar is going to be laid out. This actually even communicates what typeface is being used.
Yeah.
And how many, so maybe a wireframe that shows the top of the page and then a wireframe that's like lower down, if we had jumped down to the services section.
So my question goes back to day one, is that I have 2 different templates here and neither one of them is doing what I want it to do. That's frustrating. So
Why are they not doing what you want?
So I've got one that is almost, so Scott's. I like Scott's because it gives me all the different variations of different screen sizes, and then on top of it, different formats or different platforms to go into. So I can go in the XS and I can do it. It's not, and then I got this other one, and here I'll show you the other one.
But I don't understand why you can't use Scott's to do your wireframe.
Because then I have to draw everything. Like, I'm cool with it. Again, like you showed us how to make InDesign. I now have a template for my own business because I made it myself. Is there a program out there, or is there somebody has made a template out there that has all these pieces already and you just go in there and piece it together?
There's that website she was showing in the discussion boards. You could just look at that website. Is it called Mockingbird or whatever? You just basically like click and paste.
Right, and I wrote feedback on that. That thing is way out of date. Because I went to Mockingbird, way out of date. And that's why I posted more sites. I posted a bunch more sites that I found that are updated.
What about, though, you want elements to bring into Photoshop?
You got it.
Right. So there are...
That's why I say I don't want to reinvent the wheel. Like, that's why I liked what this guy did. It's not all encompassing. I'll show you what I was talking about on this. It's a bootstrap template. I'm sorry, it's a 1-page website wireframe is what it is.
And why don't you use the elements from that?
Because it's not all encompassing either.
Well, what about, look, if I go to, this is a image database, and probably it makes sense for...
I hate that site.
You do?
Okay, because every time I'm looking for royalty-free images, I end up here, and then I don't want to pay it.
I have a login and password, so I can get you what you need.
Okay.
So if we say web interface elements,
and I want to share this with the class. Like, this is what I think we should go out in the world with, is one that's all-encompassing, so that we don't have to make our own.
Right, but there's going to be times are going to be changing in terms of what people use.
Absolutely, but I just want a base.
But I mean, there are so many of them right here, depending on the style of wireframe that you want to create. So, like, if you want, just a really simple, you can change these different things to black and white and.
Well, do you recommend doing it in InDesign or Photoshop?
I would do it. I mean, I do my mock-ups in Photoshop.
Okay.
But InDesign is just the container that your final presentation is going to go in.
Got it.
Because, like, if you see anything on here that you want, like these are user interface web controls. These are different kinds of buttons. This one has like, you can put menu elements in. Oops. Is this kind of what you're looking for?
Yes.
Can you send me IDs of what the one? So if you just go to, like, I just noticed this one. What have I done here? This one, web design element set. So you could take this little icon, use that for where you're going to put a photograph.
Yep.
There's a bunch of different ones. If you look at the ID, this number right here.
Okay.
That'll help me find it again. I'll download it and I'll post it on our site, and then you guys can build your own. I like to use this element. You like using Scott's layouts, but you want it to look all black and white and tidy. You can grab these different things. Does that help?
That's exactly what I want. Because I could spend the next 2 weeks creating all this junk.
Exactly.
And it's already there. I'm not going to go around and get a Shutterstock until I'm out in the world.
Yeah. My family business has an account where we get 25 downloads a day, and we don't use them all. So I always go grab, if I need images, I just look and see how many we've used. And if there are ones left over, then we can use them. So
Great.
So let's get as many as, let's get 10, 20, anything that you think is great. I can grab them all, link them to the site, and you can have them. I wanted to say one thing about your proposal.
Okay.
So can you put that back up there? this relates to InDesign, and I know you're kind of, I'll talk to you.
What do I need to do to put it?
Oh, sorry, I know that you were,
So there's that one page.
can you pull elements out of here too?
So here they are, all on the right side. Look at all those layers.
Yeah, but you can take those elements and put it into, if you, Scott's makes more sense, do a nice
Yeah.
white background,
Yeah.
you know, and then bring elements from these other things over too.
This is, I think, because this is free, because I found it free, it's not all encompassing and it's not well done.
Okay.
I'm willing to bet your Shutterstock is the answer.
Okay,
Yeah.
good, because I can take care of that.
Okay.
Go back to your proposal for a second. And I just want to make some comments about that.
Okay.
So that's tricky. Now that we have so many of these one-page sites, how do you, I'm like asking for a home page and a lower level page, but there isn't really a lower level page.
Right.
So
That was my question from day one too.
We need to see a lower version of the page.
Okay.
Like what is it going to look like when we click on services and the page goes to services?
Cool.
Can you look at with your text area?
Where at?
Up
Up here?
higher.
Sure.
Just, I feel like maybe when you did InDesign, did you do separate boxes?
Yes.
Okay, so that's what, in InDesign, if you made this all one box and you said you defined this to be a paragraph style
I did.
heading,
I did.
then you can set the spacing above it and below it.
I did.
So that you have, but if they're separate boxes, then you get these big spaces here and you get smaller spaces here. It would be consistent. Do you know what I mean?
So my question on that is, how do you keep the line moving with it? Or do you just have to manually move the lines?
I would put the lines in. I mean, I would just add a line after each one. So this, if you want this line element under your heading style,
Yes.
then you can just drop it in wherever you want. I would line it up to the bottom, and then for each one, just be very consistent and go, not nudge, 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 and it's three things up.
That's my
each
answer.
one of them are consistent.
What's that?
Were you up to your logo at the top of it? Where you why did you put like a rectangle around it? Why didn't you just like drop the whole box, like the black part?
Where at? Oh, you mean out of the top?
Yeah, on your own specific like logo.
I don't know. Just kind of going for a different kind of design look. It probably needs to be stretched a little bit, actually.
I feel like I agree with Alex. It just dropping it down there, it's just unnecessary busyness, and I would just bring it up to the top or bring it up to the, yeah.
I also know why, is because the bleed area.
Oh, because of the printing?
Yeah, I'm worried it won't print. So then I can just pull the box down.
Yeah.
Pull the box down, that's fine.
Yeah.
Because when I go back into the view, the normal view, it's out of the bleed area. Or
Yeah.
it's in the bleed area right here.
And I think it would look cleaner. All of your typefaces, you've got a serif typeface, and it would look a lot more modern if you switched to a sans serif and you increased your leading. It would be a lot more readable. Your leading is very tight, and it looks like it's going to be difficult to read.
Sure.
So I would go, you could even go with a smaller typeface, but I would definitely add more line spacing.
Okay.
Just so you start to see this, save what you've done, make a duplicate, and try some of the suggestions, and then look at, and these little detail things sound like they don't make a difference, but then I want you to go back and compare them so you're actually seeing, oh my gosh, opening the leading and using a sans serif, wow, it looks so much more modern to me now.
Cool.
For your own recognition.
Yeah, doesn't bother me, yeah.
What was I gonna say? Well, I wanna move on, but I think you're off to a good start. This is, as long as we've got the wireframe solution solidified.
It's solved. Yeah.
Good. Okay,
Well,
cool.
now that I'm going to be hitting you up for stuff on Shutterstock all the time.
Not all the time. This is an offer for this particular class.
Oh, okay.
Oh, shoot. When you were talking about what I'm asking for in the visual scavenger hunt, some of the reading, I should have given you guys some Edward Tufte. Did I have you read anything by Edward Tufte?
I've never heard of that guy in my life.
No. Well, he's all about, his theory is called the least effective difference. And the idea is that content that you want to stand out, we talked about this in information architecture, so this should be familiar to you, but the content that you want to stand out, if all of your line work and all of your borders are very, very toned down and very minimal, So they're the least effective difference, meaning that you can still see them, but they're just very subdued. All of a sudden, the stuff that you want people to pay attention to stands out. You know what I mean? Because if you're using black and like a normal typeface, it's gonna really pop if your line work is kind of like a very muted, toned down, thin gray lines. You can still see those gray lines, but we're visually communicating. That's not the important part. I'm just trying to help you organize, show you what goes where. I want you to pay attention to this. And then if you throw in a bright color too, oh my gosh, all of a sudden that really, really stands out. So those examples, I'm going to take a look at what people turned in for their visual example scavenger hunt. But if you look through Edward Tufte's books, and I'll bring them to class, or I think there's some reading in it in this class. I can't remember if it's in this class or information architecture. And there's a lot of really beautiful examples of like really minimal grays and whites, and all of a sudden what he wants you to pay attention to is in red. That has a tremendous impact, as opposed to like filling your design with colors everywhere. Nothing stands out, and it just looks like a circus. Does anybody else want to show anything today? You're making my job easy. Okay, so Thursday, I will just log in at 9 o'clock. And now you emailed me about the quizzes. I screwed that up. We're back on track. You can do anything. I just opened up quiz 1 and 2 for the end of the week. For the end of the week. So you have all week to take it. No, I'm sorry, maybe it's Thursday, till the end of Thursday. I think I picked the 15th, something like that. So go take care of that today. I'll get the discussion straightened out, and then we'll get the templates. If you already posted Scott's stuff, right?
I did.
Okay, so let me take a look at all of that. I was just mostly focused on, oh shit, I gotta fix all those dates. So
Yeah.
that was all I was doing. It takes a long time. Now Canvas, you would think that Canvas, it would say, kind of when you copy content over from another semester, even when it's a fully online class and they do it for you, you would think that Canvas is smart enough. You could say, make this is a 16-week class, make it due the Friday of the first week. When they bring the content in, it goes to the right date. No, I've got to go in and manually change every single one. I'm not kidding. It took about like an hour and a half to go through after I screwed it up and do all of those dates. So I watched Olympic, what was I watching? Skeet shooting last night and changing dates.
Skeet shooting?
Yeah, like cross-country skiing.
Oh, biathlon.
I don't know what it is.
That is a huge difference. That is
I couldn't care less. Everybody else was watching it. Oh, before you guys go, let me just make sure I didn't wipe out grades. And let me see who, I'll end the broadcast so